If you want to come with me on another photo adventure, then stay tuned. This video is for you. I felt like it was time to detox from the world of technology and get out to one of the places I've been to before but I really enjoy, Red River Gorge. So I came out last night, camped out at the trailhead, and I'm up early in the morning. I'm hoping to catch the sunrise, and I could just see it starting to come up now. It's going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures should be in the 80s. It'll be a little warm, but I like it like that. Let me see if I can show you the sunrise that's coming up through the forest here. It's right there. Yeah, it's a little tough to see, but I'm gonna get a lot of miles in today. And I don't have anything super special from an equipment perspective. Got my iPhone with me. I left my DSLR back because that equipment can just get heavy when you're trying to log a lot of miles. So this is really about just having a good time and breaking away, and I thought I'd bring you along for this fun adventure. So I hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day, great week, great year. And if things are a little hectic, then I invite you to take a step back, try to relax, come along with me, and hopefully this video will give you a little respite from your life, and let's just adventure together and have some fun and see what this day holds. And just a little game plan. I'm gonna camp out tonight as well, somewhere. I don't know where yet. It's part of the adventure, right? And we'll get up in the morning, hike around some more, then I'm gonna make my way back. So sit back, relax, and let's go have some fun. As we start this adventure, I do want to cover a quick safety briefing, and that is always bring a compass. Let people know where you're going to be and when you're expected to be back. Be sure that you bring enough water, and stay away from the cliff edges. No reason to get super close to them. Just exercise a bunch of caution when you're out. And you can see as I'm making my way along this trail, you can see how it opens up right here. And we have this beautiful scenery, and it's just awesome. This is just kind of a taste of what's yet to come. So let's keep on moving. I typically get a lot of questions about equipment and what's the best equipment to get or to use when hiking. And this can vary. Really, it's going to depend on the hike and what your plans are. So if you followed some of my other videos, you'll know I have some different packs. This one right here is just my out and back pack. It's probably the smallest pack that I have. This particular hike I'm thinking is going to be just one segment. I plan to do different segments today, but I think this one's going to be around 7 miles or so. But you really want to consider the terrain and weather and the temperature of the day, that type of thing. Now for me, I have a couple of water bottles in here, and I have some snacks in there, some ibuprofen. One staple in any gear should be a compass and a printed map if you can get that. But if your electronics fail you, you have something to fall back on. So it's important to understand that, especially if you're going to an area that you are not familiar with. So yeah, I also, well, we can see it here. Let me stop for a minute in this hike. And I've got this. This is my Garmin. So I wear a Garmin. This is the Venue 2S. Post a link in the description on that one in case you're interested as well. But this has got a great battery life, hiking modes, things like that, and it helps to keep track of where I'm going, heart rate, all that good stuff. In fact, I may be able to show a screenshot of the path that I've taken, at least on this trail, and maybe some other trails. I don't know if I can do that. Let's see if I can show it right now. So yeah, just consider what you're going to do though, and try to evaluate the equipment you think you're going to need. And again, you know, over time, you may realize you don't need half of what you're bringing and you'll scale it back. So hopefully that's of some help to you. I made it to the first clearing where we can see the valley, and I'm actually looking west, so you see the sun kind of coming up behind me here. But let me show you this valley. This is where I'm going to stop for a little bit and just take it in and relax, and there's nobody around, so it's super quiet and it's really peaceful. And this is one reason why I come out here. But I do want to show you where I'm going. I don't know how well we can see it. Let's see if I can get my finger kind of on it. It's kind of tough for me to see on this little camera on the screen that's here, but I think right about here where my finger is, you'll see a rock formation, and there's a hole in it, a little small hole because it's way out there in the distance. But that is where I'm going next. Now, in order to get there, I need to traverse this valley, and in order to do that, I got to head back north along this ridge line, and it's going to go for a little while, and then I believe there's going to be a path, and I'm going to make my way down through here, and eventually I'm going to come up on the other side. And what's going to be kind of cool is when I'm over there, we'll be able to look back and see right where I'm standing. But yeah, I think it's going to be another awesome view out there. See some birds flying, that's cool. It's just nice, it's peaceful, and hopefully you can kind of get a sense of that on this video. And I know it's kind of difficult, but just know it's peaceful. And that's what it's all about. Before I traverse this valley over here, I want to talk for just a quick moment about taking some creative shots. I used to do a lot of that in my other videos, but if you have a cell phone and you're out like this, now I notice right here is just a little bit of standing water on this rock formation. I don't know how well we can see it. It's right here. We have the sun over here. We have a valley. I'm looking back east at this point, and what you can do is, so if you take your phone, camera on it, I mean typically your phone's like this right here, but you can turn it upside down and put it down by the water here and do something like this, and this will get you a pretty cool shot. Just let your mind kind of explore the different possibilities when you're taking shots, and you might land something pretty cool. I'm making my way through the valley, trying to get to the other side, and yeah, you know, we have a little canopy of the forest here, so it's a little dark, and I don't know if we can hear it. Not the birds, but it actually sounds like it's raining, and it's all of the condensation coming down from the foliage above. I mean, it's kind of funny in a way, even though it's full-on sun out there. I don't even know if there's a cloud in the sky, but yeah, it's that condensation that develops overnight, and you get that fog in the valley, and when you get down into the valley, the sun starts to come up, burns the fog off, and a lot of the moisture starts to dry up and come down from the trees. I made it to the double arch, which we can see right here. I was moving pretty quick to get here. It was a good hike over. You know, again, it was kind of wet in the valley, but it was good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on top of this arch, and then we're going to look back east, and I'm going to show you where we were at just a little bit ago. But again, it's peaceful. The sun is really starting to come up now, so temperature's starting to warm a bit. But this is a good time to relax and take a little break and just enjoy the landscape and the scenery. Albeit the fog is burnt off, but let's go ahead and see if we can get on top of this arch. Well, this looks like a pathway up. I'm not sure it's a good pathway down. And it looks like it's doable. But I will say I do not think this is a mom approved event right here. Unless your mom is athletic. But let's see how difficult it is. Okay, you know, I made it up, and I gotta tell you, that really wasn't too bad. I don't know if your mom really needs to be that athletic. You can see there's kind of some natural steps carved out into the stone here. And at the very bottom, there's a little step up, so it's really not, it's not that bad. Now again, I don't know about getting down that way. I think I'm gonna look for another way down. But let's get on top of the arch here. Kind of making my way under some branches. And we're getting there. Ooh, that sun is in full effect. Got a pretty good view here. Let's keep on moving. Yeah, it's looking nice. It's looking really nice. Ah, here we are. That's looking nice. Let's see what we got up here. Ah, okay. Yeah, we've got some nice clear skies out here. And I think we are at the top. You can kind of see we're looking back west right here. You see the valley over here. I'm gonna make my way, I'm turning north. And now we're facing back east. And wow, I don't think we're gonna quite be able to see it that well in the video, but that is where we were at. There's a ridge line over there in the valley. It's of course down in between. But we have a lot of sun and there's a little bit of haze. I think it's just part of that fog and that condensation down in the valley that's burning off. But again, it's peaceful, it's quiet, there's nobody out here. And this is a good time just to stop, relax, and take a break. What's my snack of choice? Some almonds. Get yourself some almonds. They're healthy. And they're filling, full of protein, fiber, all that good stuff. I can see where some of the leaves are starting to change color, and I can only imagine in maybe 3 or 4 weeks all of this, you know, all of the leaves in the valley changing colors and what that might look like. I don't know that I'll make my way back down for that, but just kind of interesting to think about. And when I look out on the valley here, I could just start to see some different hues of green coming through. So it's getting there, and it won't be long before, you know, fall is upon us and all the leaves are starting to change. So if you're in the area and want to stop by, it's probably worthy of seeing. If you do make your way on top of the double arch, then what you want to do is, I showed you how to get up. I mean, you can try to get back down that way, but if you walk south, so when you come up on the top of that, instead of going left, where I was just filming, you go right, and there's a pathway that comes this way. And when you come down just a little ways, you'll see right here, there's another way down, and you could use it as a way up as well. But I don't know that many people come down this far to see it, and it's not that much further down. But it does look like it's much easier to get down this way as opposed to the stone steps that we just came up on. Well, I made my way off the rugged trail, and now I'm on kind of a dirt gravel trail here. You can kind of see behind me. Much easier to hike on. But this is part of kind of a larger loop, and some people might go out and back, but I feel like if you're on that ridge line and then you make your way over to the double arch, it's probably more prudent just to make the loop. Now if you're on the ridge line, you can make your way a little further north, and there's another big rock formation you can see, and that might be optional to just make your way back on the same trail. But yeah, it's funny, nobody out here up until I was getting ready to leave the double arch, and then I started seeing more people, you know, just a few people show up, and I thought, all right, you know, I mean, I took today and tomorrow off from work. It's a Thursday, and it's great weather, and it's kind of why I picked this day. But I was wondering how many other people are thinking the same thing. So it's kind of nice to see other like-minded people. I do a lot of these trips solo, and it's simply because I don't have anybody in my inner circle that shares the same enthusiasm, you know, about getting out here. Maybe I need to open up my inner circle a little bit, you know, get some people in it and get out and share the experiences. But I don't mind going solo. It gives me time to think and reflect and relax and unwind, and that's what it's all about. So I'm going to eventually make my way back to the trailhead. I'm going to refuel, and we're going to find another trail to go out on and just keep moving, keep hiking, enjoying the sights, having fun. So if you're in the area, I saw something called the Arch of Triumph, and it was sort of on my way back and just a little side hike, so I decided to take that trail. And yeah, don't do it. There's really nothing back here, unless I'm missing something, but there's a spot to camp, and there's another spot a little ways up the trail, but I'm not really seeing any sort of outcrop or, valley or anything incredible to look at. So just something to think about if you're in the area and you see something called the Arch of Triumph. Now, if you've been here and maybe I'm missing something, you may want to post that in the comments below, because there is a chance I'm missing something. There's another area, I forget where it was. I was out here a few years ago, and I didn't realize that the awe-inspiring view was underneath where I was standing. Again, I forget where that is, but maybe that's the case here. I don't know. So I refueled and found another trail. This is the Danial Boone Hut trail. Now this one is should be relatively short, just a couple of miles, and I think it's more of a loop, kind of going out and around. This is close to the Gray's Arch, which my thinking is to hit this and then do the Gray's Arch, and then we'll see. Look for some other trails, but I'll have to drive a little ways to get to those. But yeah, we're just gonna keep on moving and take some photos and capture some memories. Now this is pretty cool. Huge rock formation off the trail here. But yeah, you can see where maybe a long time ago people took this as shelter. I mean, it's just huge. A quick mention about the gear. I spoke earlier of it, but when I come out, if it's warm out, I usually start off in some shorts. But I do bring some really lightweight sweats. I like to call these shell sweats, simply because they're more just they don't have a liner in them. But the reason I bring these out, and let me show you real quick. They look like this right here. And they're just really thin and lightweight. Now, the reason I bring these out is that it's really for all the foliage that's along the trail. Now there are chiggers, and I've been nailed by chiggers before. Chiggers are almost microscopic. Maybe they are microscopic, and they will embed in your skin. They don't do a lot of harm. I mean, I guess an infection could occur, but really it's just you'll see little red spots until your body takes care of them. So I'm a little more inclined to bring the sweats out, and when I encounter a trail full of foliage, I'll put them on. I don't really care if it's super hot either. That's the reason why they're lightweight. But it's just to kind of protect the skin. I don't always pull them out, but again, if I see a lot of foliage, I will. And there's a reason I wear the hat as well. I don't like things dropping on my head. I think about ticks and other things. So, me, I always wear a hat. So this is kind of cool. It's part of that same outcrop. Take a look at this. You can hear water coming out down here through the rocks. And because I hear that water, I need to go down and investigate. We got to see what that's all about. But this is actually pretty cool. Let's come up here. It looks like there's a little pathway right here that maybe some others have traversed. Oh, let's step up here. I think it's more of the same. But wow, look at this. And again, for scale, try to get in this shot. This is really cool. It's just cool to sit here and relax. Got a lot of shade, a nice dry day. Starting to warm up a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go down and see what that water's about. So if you're in this area, you want to be a little careful coming down something like this because this is an unimproved pathway. And you can see our water right here. Now, if I were in need of water, I would feel pretty safe about drinking this because it's running through a giant, massive filtration system, which is this rock formation. I'd be interested to grab a little bit of that and test it, but we're not going to do that just yet. I got plenty of water with me. While I make my way on this trail, I'm starting to think more about navigation. And I start thinking about the questions that people have asked me on that. And I know there are some dedicated hikers out there who think, you know, it's all about a compass and a map, which I do agree that's the foundation and the fundamental of hiking. But the reality is, in this day and age, we have technology that comes to bear. So let's take advantage of it. And that would be GPS and the maps that come along with your phone. And it's not that you necessarily need cellular. So cellular is updating as you go because cellular is spotty in a lot of places. But that's why you can download maps and you can use the GPS without cellular as long as there's satellites flying around. So that's the beauty of it. Now, if for whatever reason all that fails, your battery's out, then you have a compass and you have a map. So it's really important that, you know, you have that baseline to retreat to if you need it. Now I kind of liken this, I'm making a kind of a fork in the pathway here, so I'm going this way. But I liken this to cooking. So we have microwaves, right? Well, if the microwave fails, we have an oven. If an oven fails, we have fire, you know, like you'd have a fire pit. And I look at it like, if your cellular fails, you know, you have your GPS. If your GPS fails, you have a compass and map. And if your compass fails, meaning you lose it for some reason or it has problems, it's broken, then you have the sun. So think about it like that. Now I'm going to create another video because I recently updated to iOS 18 and I've been testing the Apple Maps on iOS 18, and I also use AllTrails. So I think AllTrails is in for a rude awakening. So look in the description below. I may post a link to another video, a very short video, but it'll be more focused on the difference between AllTrails and Apple Maps on iOS 18. Speaking of maps, I just did a quick check, and Apple Maps, not AllTrails, but Apple Maps, tells me that I was on the Danial Boone Hut trail, and then I jumped on the rough trail, and the rough trail is going to merge into Gray's Arch Trail, which is cool because I want to do Gray's Arch. So we're gonna take rough trail. I'm making my way up an ascent right now, and there's a bunch of tree roots here, so I need to be careful. But we're gonna take this rough trail to Gray's Arch, and then we're gonna make our way over to see Gray's Arch. So that's a nice little find today. That's cool. Well, apparently I might have taken a path that was a little less traveled. It was shown on a map, but I need to traverse down this. And this is not mom approved. I'm thinking, yes, I can make it down, but I need to be sure that this comes out somewhere, because trying to get back up that, I think, is going to be difficult. But let's go ahead and make this happen. Well, I made it down, but the camera came out and it started tumbling, but it's still working. Camera came out of the tripod and it rolled and rolled and rolled, but I was able to find it. So now I need to figure out the path out. I made it into Gray's Arch, and you can see right here, huge rock formation, and there's actually an archway right here, hence the name Gray's Arch. Huge arch. It's a good place to relax and take a little break and get a little more energy in me. We'll make our way back and try to find another trail. Yeah, this is actually really cool. So big. I've only run into, I think, just 2 other people coming up. So yeah, it's really not busy out here at all. I'm sure this gets busy on a weekend though. I could only imagine. But it is awesome to see. I'm making my way back to the trailhead from Gray's Arch. And I discovered something kind of interesting, you know, the path least taken, which was a rough one. And I went down that rocky descent. I discovered that I was actually on top of Gray's Arch at that point. So if you're familiar with the area, you'll know that there is a way to get to the top of Gray's Arch. But I assure you that I didn't think the view was anything spectacular, so I would say it's not worth the effort. Just my opinion there. But at Gray's Arch, you know, you could actually see the arch, and somebody else came up on me when I was there and they were asking, is there a way to get up top? And I thought, I don't think so. And it wasn't until I was leaving that I realized the trail I was on actually came out on top of the arch. It's just kind of funny. So if you're in the area, just know that you can, if you really want to, get on top of Gray's Arch. I made it back to the trailhead of Gray's Arch, and I ran into a nice young lady who had a lot of questions for me. So we spent some time talking. And if you're watching this video, I hope all the information I provided helped you out, and I hope you had a safe journey and some good adventures in there. But right now, I am making my way out to Hanson's Point via the rough trail. Now, I don't think this might be the same rough trail I was on before, and maybe it just runs its way all through the gorge, but I'm actually connected to the rough trail at a different trailhead. So I jumped in my vehicle and drove to a different spot, jumped back on the trail, and now we're making our way out. This is going to be a little strenuous. Right now, I'm making a pretty decent descent, and you know, anytime I do this, I always think what comes down in this case is gonna have to come back up. So enjoy going down, because going up is going to be a challenge. Now, I've been on this trail once or twice before. It might be in another video or two, but it's a sharp descent down, traverse a creek bed or two, and then it's a slow ascent up to get to Hanson's Point, and it's a big outcrop over the valley, and that's what makes this this hike worth it. It's really it's breathtaking, it's awesome, it's relaxing, it's all those good things. I'll get out there and enjoy that for a little bit, and then we'll make our way back, and we'll see how much daylight we have at that time. We may try and catch the sunset at the half moon, so we'll see if we can get there. Or Chimney Top Rock. Again, if you've been out here, you know what I'm talking about, and if not, well, stay tuned, because basically on the other side of the valley, looking back west, and should be able to see that sunset. Maybe I could toss a hammock up and relax, really relax at the end of the day and unwind. All right, let's keep moving. If you ever make your way out here, and you're on your way to Hanson's Point, just know it's a little you gotta really stay on point so you don't get lost. But this particular trail, it's really narrow. It's not like super wide. It's not like you might think, oh, there's this great spot that everyone goes to and there should be a big trail. I mean, I don't know, the sun's behind me at this point, but it's really just, you know, I mean, my shoulders are almost hitting the trees walking through this area. But the path is beaten down, so you know that you're on a trail, which is good. So I think we're getting close though, and the payoff is coming, so where we could see over the valley. And now that's really, when I do a hike, that's what it's all about, is getting to that spot where you can just take it in and relax. And you get a lot of good exercise getting out there. That little narrow trail opens up into this. Look at this. It's a massive area where you could do a lot of camping out here. And I think in one of my videos, maybe it was a few years ago, I think this is the spot that I put a tent. I put it just back on the other side. And what was interesting is there might have been a bear that came up to my tent. You know, for some reason, in the early morning hours, I thought it was a dog. But looking back, thinking, there's no way a dog was out here at 3:30 in the morning. So you do have to be careful of black bears in this area. But this is a perfect spot to put up multiple tents. Now there's nobody out here right now, but I know I'm in the right spot, that I'm not too far. I lost power to my my DJI Osmo, so I'm going to use my iPhone here to try to finish out the video on this trail, because I just made it, and this is, you know, this is the payout right here. So I want to bring you along for the ride. And you can see it's a little windy out here, which feels good, but we can see sort of the terrain back here. I'm going to make my way out here, and it's going to really open up. Yeah, look at this, huh? This is what I'm talking about. It's just a beautiful day. Just a few clouds in the sky. And you could just kind of see how peaceful it is out here, and it's nice. Now let me show you. I gotta make my way out here a little bit further, and when I get out here, I'll show you the half moon and then Chimney Top Rocks. We got the full-on sun hitting me, and we do have a little wind out here. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me in this video, but I want to show you right here. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the half moon, and this is a spot that I've bouldered up before, and it's really nice, but you got to be careful going up there. And then over here you'll see another rock outcrop. This is Chimney Top Rocks. This is mom approved. So this is a spot you can actually drive, get pretty close to that. You're probably a quarter mile from the trailhead, and it's mostly paved. It's pretty easy going to get there. And then between the two is where I think I'm going to see if I can put a hammock. And you can't see it on the video, but I assure you it's a nice spot. And if I get over there before the sun sets, we'll be looking back west, and we should be able to see right where I'm standing, along with these other outcrops over here. It's going to be really, really nice. We're just after 5 o'clock right now. Sun sets at about 7:30, so I'm going to spend a little time here just relaxing, you know. I'm going to try to recharge my batteries a little bit, and then make the trek back. One thing I want to say is, I've said this before and I'll continue to say it, and that is to be safe, be careful with everything you do. So I am far enough away from the edge here, and if you were to bring an animal or a child out, I just wouldn't bring them at all. And if you yourself feel like you want to get out, then just be very, very careful. I don't think I can say that quite enough. So just keep that in mind. My watch is telling me that I have over 33,000 steps in today, and that I have climbed the equivalent of 254 flights. Yeah, that's a lot of up and down. Now I find that the Garmin watch is fairly accurate, so I don't know. I've had a lot of movement today, and that's a good sign. I'm curious to know what everyone else is using, or if you're using anything at all to track your movement. Let me know in the comments below. I don't know. I've just been using the Garmin watch for a while, and I really like it. I have some friends that use Apple, but I know the battery life is, maybe a day, except I think they have a higher end model that might get you a little longer. But this Garmin Venue 2 that I use gets me multiple days. I get 3-4 days out of it, maybe 5, depending on what I'm doing with it. But yeah, this is nice. There's nobody out here, little breeze coming in. It's peaceful, and that's why I come out here. It's time to make my way back to the trailhead. I spent a good amount of time out here just relaxing and unwinding, and that's really what it's all about. So I'm gonna put my pack on here and really try to make some good time, because I can see the sun is starting to make its way down. I've got a little bit of time, but I figure if I can get back within an hour or so, I should be able to get over to the other spot, I'm thinking, hopefully. Set up the hammock and we'll watch the sunset. So let's see if I can make good time and make this happen. Part of the trail out to Hanson's Point involves crossing over this creek. I gotta tell you, the sun is kind of starting to go down. I've been hiking my way back for a little while. I'm in the forest now, and we have a canopy here, and it's nice and cool down here, but when I see this water, I'm tempted to get in it just to cool off. I talked about how sharp the descent was when I got on the trail. Well, now I'm paying for it. You know, getting to Hanson's Point was kind of a slower ascent, and it was sort of rough to get out there, but making my way back, I have to go up a sharp incline now. And I had to take my sweats off. I do have shorts on though. I just had to take a breather right here, because it'll really test your endurance at the end of the day. I can see the sun is still hanging on. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to make my way to the other spot, but we'll see. I'm getting closer now to the trailhead. I'm thinking maybe another 15 minutes or so. If the sun can hang on, I'll make good use of it, but we'll see. I made it to the trailhead on the other side, but we gotta move quick because I can see that sun going down. Now, I have a hammock with me, but I didn't think I have time to get it set up and really relax to watch the sunset. So I think I'm just gonna try to get out there, sit down and relax and watch the sunset that way, which I'm good with. Well, I got to where I wanted to be, and I just made it. I can just see the sun going down. It's just the tip of it. Let me show you right here. It's Red River Gorge at sunset. How awesome is that? It's just so peaceful. That's what I like out here. So that was an awesome sunset, and yeah, just really peaceful. So I'm making my way back through the trail now as it's getting darker, much darker. And I'm gonna get my gear and then get set up for the night, get some food. And in the morning, I'm gonna hike around a little bit more before heading back. And I might grab the hammock and maybe put it back out there and just relax in the morning. It's sounding kind of good right now, but I did see this, this camp spot as I'm coming through the trail, and it looks like someone left some extra wood here. See, there's a fire pit right here, some extra wood over there, and then back here there's a stump that can probably be taken out, but I'm not going to do that. But around this stump is a good spot for a tent. So anytime you're out looking around, just ensure you're on high ground, you have a clearing, and also look for widowmakers. And you might be thinking, what are widowmakers? Well, this right here. See this tree? This tree, if you look down at the base, there's no strong winds going tonight, but this tree is leaning, and it's leaning kind of in that direction over there. So, as I look at that tree, I sort of think, well, if I were to put tent in, I'm probably going to put a tent off to the side of the tree, maybe right in this area here. At any rate, that's something to think about, and I'm going to get moving and get my stuff set up and try to get some rest tonight. And we'll see what tomorrow holds. So I had a really good sleep last night. I camped out by a trailhead and got up early this morning and thought, yeah, let me come back out and catch the sunrise over the valley. Now there's not a big sea of fog because it didn't get super cold last night, but I did manage to come out and set up my hammock, which is right here. I'm going to talk for just a minute about the hammock because I usually get some questions on this as well. You can see how I have this set up, and I just have it attached to the two trees here. Now, what's kind of unique about this hammock is that it has a mosquito net on it. So I have a few different hammocks, and this is the only one that has a built-in mosquito net. And you can see it's made by Sunyear. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. I've had this for probably the last maybe 5-6 years, and it's worked great. I've had no issues with it. But again, this is permanently attached to the hammock. And how this works is you can see that it has a bungee up here in the top, and I have it just wrapped around the tree there. And then you have the quick straps here, and these are pretty common with a lot of hammocks, and these work really well. So I had no issues with that. But I do like a hammock because it's portable. So you can take this with you and set it up wherever you're at and use it to relax. You can also sleep in it. Now, if you sleep in the hammock, what I will say is that it's a good idea to lay almost diagonal a little bit. That way your body's not, you don't have that curve all night. And when you lay diagonal, you can almost lay flat in there. So just something to think about if you're looking at a hammock. And if you want some suggestions, check the description in this video, because I might post a link or two to something that you might be interested in. I'm going to sit here and just relax. I did bring with me some overnight oats. Now, I'm not sure if anyone eats overnight oats, but I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick. I think it's a good breakfast food, and it's easy to prep and bring with you. Let's just take a quick look at my overnight oats, because I'm sure you're dying to see what that's all about. So inside my bag, I brought this out with me. And yep, it's a mason jar. Now, you can definitely use a Ziploc bag here. But I had a lot of these prepped back at my house, so I just grabbed a couple. Now, you're looking at this, and you might be thinking, that doesn't look too appetizing. But it is. What's in it is obviously oats. And I have a tablespoon of cacao powder in here, tablespoon of chia seeds, tablespoon of protein powder, and last but not least is a tablespoon of PB powder. Now, I soak this in water when I'm camping, and I just kind of pour what I think looks good, but it's probably the equivalent of maybe a half cup to a cup of water. You shake it up and just let it soak. I've let this soak for maybe an hour or so, and it's ready to eat. So yes, that's my breakfast. It's my overnight oats. I'm going to enjoy this inside the hammock right here and watch this sunrise over the valley. You can see it right there. As I sit in this hammock relaxing, I just want to point out a couple of things that might be of interest if you're ever out here. And the first one is, it's right about where my finger is on top of it. That is the half moon. Now you can get there through a path that traverses this way, this way, this way, and all the way back. I'm going to zoom in so you can kind of get a better look of it. There we go. And it's really, really nice if you make your way up there, because you can see the whole valley all around it. And the one major concern here is safety. So you want to be really, really careful, because right there, it's pretty narrow. And you have to boulder to get up to that point. So again, if you're not super confident, don't do it. Now, just to the right of that say it's right about there. That is Hanson's Point. That's where I was last night. And the hike out there was a bit challenging, but when you get out there, you've got another spectacular view, and you're looking back east at that point across the valley, and It's really nice. Now, right over here, I'm gonna put my finger up there. There we go. I actually made my way out there one time I was down, and it's an unimproved path. Nothing super special, in my opinion. I don't know that I would recommend trying to traverse that. I don't think it's really on the map anywhere. For those that have been out here a lot more than I have, there's probably a name for it, but I am unaware of that. When we go further to the right, I'm not sure. There's a name for this one as well. I'm not quite sure what that is, nor how to get there. When you go further to the right, I might have to zoom out at this point. Yeah. Over here, and the tree is kind of blocking it, but that's Chimney Top Rock. Now that is the, it's easily accessible from the trailhead, and it's mostly a paved pathway. When I'm done here, I may just run up the way and run out there and show you what that's all about. But that is a mom-approved trail, and the trail actually runs this way here. And you're actually parking by the trailhead, so it's really not bad. And you still get an awesome view over the gorge. So it's something to think about if you're out here and you want to visit. I'm making my way down the Chimney Top Rock trail right now, and you can see behind me it's nice and paved, at least at the start. It gets a little rockier up here, but again, I don't think this is any more than a quarter mile out. I'm just gonna kind of guess on that one. But it's one of the easiest trails to get out and to have a great view when you get out there. Now, this is Friday morning. Again, I've taken this day off, but there's really nobody out here. But I imagine on a weekend, on a nice weekend with nice weather and all of that, it's probably pretty busy out here. But again, if you have some physical limitations and you want an easy path out with a beautiful view, this is it. So we're gonna make our way up here, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like from Chimney Top Rock. I made it to Chimney Top Rock, and my watch tells me it is 0.31 miles, so it's pretty close. See right here, little sign says, "Do not climb over railing. Many have fallen to their death." So this is kind of something I keep reiterating. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Always be safe out here. So let's turn around and see what it looks like. So if you make your way out here, you can kind of see. This is, it's a nice layout to get to the point of the pinnacle of this Chimney Top Rock. And you can see a lot of man-made railings here and the stonework. But when you get out here, you get this. And it's just a breathtaking view across the valley. I don't know how well we can see it here in the video, but as I pointed out earlier, that is the half moon over there. And where I had the hammock set up, we definitely won't be able to see it on the video, but it's back this way. But again, there is not a cloud in the sky. It is just a beautiful day. But it's peaceful out here. And again, there's nobody out here. Now, if there were a lot of people, you know, there'd be a little more chaos out here. And then I would be a little less inclined to stay longer. But again, if you're in the area and you want to see a beautiful view and not have to hike a long way to get there, this is it. Now, I do want to show you something real quick as I'm making my way back from Chimney Top Rock, and there's a little offshoot here. So if you have kids, just be really careful if they're running in front of you. You don't want them going down the offshoot. Let's just go take a look real quick. But you can see it's not very far off the beaten path. And when you come down here, there is a view. However, there's not a lot of room for error. So you want to be really, really careful. And I can see that, you know, a lot of people have been down here I can see some carvings in the stone here, but you can see from here as well just how close you are to the edge. Again, it's a nice view, and you can get a shot of the half moon over there, and then you see the valley between Chimney Top Rock and Half Moon. But just be careful. Be careful. All right, let's make our way back to the trailhead, and I'm going to show you another trail which is just right across the parking area. It's called Princess Arch, so let's go make that happen. I'm on the trail to the Princess Arch now, and again, it's right across the parking area for Chimney Top Rock. And the trail, albeit it's not paved like Chimney Top Rock, it is flattened, it's wide, it's an easy walk, and I think it's about a quarter mile as well. I'm going to show you this plaque though, because apparently someone had fallen out here. And again, it goes with this continuous theme to be careful when you're out here. Stay away from the edge, stay alert. As I like to say, stay alert, stay alive, right? So we'll make our way down and we'll take a look at the view that this offers, and we'll see what it's all about. On this trail, you kind of face this fork in the road here. Now, if we go down, if we go to the left, we're making our way on the trail. This is going to take us down by the arch, and we definitely want to look at that. We can go straight as well, and we'll be standing on top of the arch, and then if you go down further, we'll get to some views over the valley. So I think we're going to go this way, and we're going to look at the arch from down beneath. So this is the arch. It's actually very, very cool to spend a little time down here. It is relaxing, but I can also tell you that I just ran into some people, and again, it's a Friday morning, but my guess is on a weekend it gets really busy out here. So just be advised, depending on when you come out. We went this way to go see the arch. Now we're going to go straight, and this is going to put us on top of the arch, and we should be able to see some of the views over the valley when we get on the other side. So we can see what this looks like as we go to make our way over the arch. You have a little bit of bouldering to get down. I mean, this is nothing major here. But again, if you have some limitations, maybe with your knees, things like that, then this might be a little more difficult for you. And again, you want to be really careful because you have the arch right here, and you have this walkway. So we're actually on top of the arch right now. So just be careful when you're out. I've made it to the end of this trail, and again, keeping in mind that Princess Arch is what we just looked at. So you don't have to come out any further. It's maybe another 1/10 of a mile or so. It's not much further out, but you get to this rock face here, and yeah, it doesn't really look like you got the greatest of views here, other than the fact that it's open. I mean, you can kind of see out over the valley here, but you have a lot of trees in the way. Now, perhaps in the winter time or late fall, though these are pines, over here, I would imagine leaves are down and you might be able to see the valley more. But yeah, this is where it takes you, and if you want it to be a little more adventurous, you can actually go down here. And to make that happen, let me show you real quick, but you would have to do some bouldering right here, and I've been down there before, and you know, again, it's another adventure of sorts, and I believe you make your way out, you'll have another view over the valley, but you know, I don't know if it's really worth the payoff there. I don't think it's bad, right? So if you have the time and you're adventurous and you want to do it, yeah, you could definitely do it. But I think at this point I'm gonna make my way back, and we're gonna get back to the trailhead. And I do have one other trail I want to get on, which is going to be much longer. We'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to try to hit a place called Copperas Falls. Now, I've been there once or twice before, and it's nice. The terrain is a little rugged, and it traverses a creek bed. I don't think it'll be too wet today, but I do need to start making my way back home. So, if I want to do this particular trail, I'm going to have to get moving on it. And I think I'm going to go after it. We're going to find out here in a few minutes on video. Maybe a few seconds, actually. Because when I get back, I got to drive to that trailhead, which is just a little ways off. And then I'll evaluate just what time it is and if I want to go for it. And if I do, I'm going to have to get on that one. You know, I got to get my Alton backpack ready and then almost give it maybe even kind of a jog. But, you know, I think it's worth the payoff when you get to the waterfall. And, of course, you know, it's all about the adventure of getting there and the hike itself and, you know, the fitness, all that good stuff to get the steps in, right? So stay tuned, because in video time it's going to be just a few seconds. It's going to take me maybe a half hour, 45 minutes maybe, to get to that trailhead, then evaluate what I'm going to do. I made it to the start of the Copperas Falls trail. I believe this is just going to be, it's a couple miles out, a couple miles back. And this terrain, or at least the elevation, kind of works its way up and then back down. And keep in mind, I don't think the trailhead is, like, it's not extremely well marked. I didn't see a sign out there that says Copperas Falls on it. So, just something to think about if you're in the area and think I want to hit it. Now, you'll see it on the, I think it's on the official park map, which is a good thing. And there is a parking area maybe just 100 feet south of the trailhead. So you can park there providing it's not super busy, and right now it's not. So there's only like one other vehicle there. And again, Friday morning, but I got a feeling it's going to start picking up when I'm heading out, which I'm okay with. So let's go have some fun on this trail and get some fitness in, and then we'll see if we got any waterfall. I don't know if it's rained much out here or not, but we're going to find out soon enough. On this trail, you need to traverse the creek bed, and fortunately, the creek bed is dry. So the path, if you're out here and on this trail, you just got to know it kind of weaves in and out of this creek bed, and it might be a little confusing. Just know that you want to stay close to the creek bed. So you know, you might be on the left side or the right side of the creek bed, but as long as you're near the creek bed, you're going to be okay. It's just something to keep in mind as you traverse it. There's this awesome rock formation along the creek bed. I don't know how well we can see it. I know it's a little blurred out, but there's a big tree right there that's on the edge of that rock formation. When you look at it, you think, you know, just any moment that thing could topple over. But it's really just another sight to see out here. It's really awesome. So, I was mentioning before that the creek was dry. Well, it was dry down there, but it's definitely wet as we get further up on it. So it's probably a good sign though that the waterfall is running, because I was just kind of wondering how much rain they've had. I can just see it. Now there's not a lot of water coming off it. You can just kind of barely see it. I'm not even sure how well we're going to get it in the video. But I'm going to walk my way down here, and we're going to take a closer look at it. Yeah, I'm the only one down here. It is quiet and peaceful. But again, my guess is on a weekend, that is not the case. I can tell you that water is nice and cold, which is great on a hot day. So yeah, it feels good. It's almost like a shower. Well, if I had some soap and shampoo out here. It's amazing, how Mother Nature works. I mean, you could almost just picture, people crowding in here to take shelter. I mean, it's huge. You could probably put a couple hundred people in here. Time to take a break and relax, though, and just take it in, unwind a little bit before making that journey back out. I'm making my way back off the Copperas Falls trail after spending a good amount of time back there, and I really enjoyed it. It was really peaceful, and there was nobody else out there, which I am most certain that is a rare occurrence, but that's a big blessing, and I'm going to take it. I wanted to use this opportunity to go ahead and close this video out and give you my 2 cents. Coming out and doing something like this, it's always a way for me to relax and unwind and detox from the world of tech. Now, I'm not sure what everyone else does, and if you wouldn't mind sharing, go ahead and leave a comment below, because I am curious to know what people do to relax and unwind. But if you find yourself stressed out from everyday life, just remember that there's a lot more to it than all the noise that surrounds us. So just be conscious of that, and then take steps to try and unwind yourself. So whatever that is, for me, it's just taking a break, or it's working out, or it's just going for a walk. And in this case, if I can break away and get a good hike in, I'll do that too. So I hope this video has given you a respite from your everyday life, a break, and I hope it's brought a smile to your face, maybe, And yeah, I hope you liked it. And if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel. It's called Real World. More often than not, I post videos about photography and technology, but you never know. So until the next video, take care of yourself and be safe.